This is episode 42 of the Online Playmaker Sessions with affiliate marketing trainer and blogging expert, Chef Katrina.
Welcome to the Online Playmaker Sessions. This is the place for the latest what's working now strategies from the best online playmakers, the top marketers, the rising stars who are making it happen right now. Every week, you'll get real, actionable lessons that you can take and apply immediately in your business, delivered in short 20-minute sessions. Our focus is your results. Here's your host, entrepreneur, world-class trainer, and marketing strategist, Norbert Orlowitz.
Hello, online playmakers. If this is your first time tuning in to the Playmaker Sessions, thank you for choosing us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and if you prefer video, our YouTube channel at onlineprofitplaybook.tv. As with all of our episodes, we have all the show notes, transcripts, and actionable tips over on the blog. Just head over to www.onlineprofitplaybook.com. You'll also be able to get access to my complimentary 5-video tutorial series on building the proper foundation for your online business, as well as several other free trainings, including my Instant Income Multiplier tutorial. And if you're ready to multiply your results fast, check out the premium membership of our Online Profit Playbook, where our guests open up their closely guarded playbooks and walk you step by step through the exact marketing funnels and sales process they use to build their audience, grow their influence, and make sales. Get the coveted Online Profit Playbook today. Just head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers. Prior to Chef Katrina becoming an online entrepreneur, she worked as a sous chef for Walt Disney World for over 12 years. Having burnt out from the corporate kitchen, Chef turned to online marketing and found her passion teaching entrepreneurs the recipe for marketing online. Chef Katrina is recognized as an expert on blogging and is the creator of Blogging Ingredients, a comprehensive step-by-step blogging training course for online marketers. She is also the affiliate community insider for a leading marketing platform supporting affiliate marketers from all over the world to create results. Chef Katrina is on a mission to empower, educate, and support aspiring marketers everywhere to create true success online. This week's Online Playmaker, Chef Katrina. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's episode 42. Norbert Orlowitz here with another edition of the Online Playmaker Sessions. And today, we've got a special guest, the one and only Chef Katrina. How are you today, Chef?
Fabulous. It's a beautiful day here today. Thank you for having me on here. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. It's my pleasure. It was really it was a pleasure to actually finally meet you in person just a few months ago. And you've got an incredible story. I'm really excited for you to share your experience in this wild and wacky industry of online marketing, and share with us some of the things that are really working well for you and your students in marketing. So I'm really looking forward to this. I know that our viewers and listeners are going to get a ton of value from you. So let's jump right into the interview here, because we've only got about 20-25 minutes. We want to keep this nice and short and compact. So for all the people that don't know who you are, Chef, give us a little bit of background as to how you got involved in this industry, because there's a great story here.
So yeah, my story begins actually working in the kitchen. I actually was a chef so if you guys are curious, I am a chef. I was a chef for, I guess I can say the name, Walt Disney World for over 12 years. And in that time, I discovered that this wasn't the right fit for me. I love cooking. I like taking care of people. The problem I was struggling with was that when you walk into an office and you say, "Hey guys, did you hear that Zig Ziglar passed away?" And everybody in the office goes, "Who?" There's a mind space which just isn't created anymore. So I was like, okay, I need to look at something different. And I got into the world of network marketing, like many of us, and had very little success. And I went to the internet world because I was like, there's got to be a better way to build your business. So I kind of started to tackle the internet world, had some success. And then I said, you know what, Norbert, my thought process was this. if I'm going to successfully build a business online, I have to cut the fallback, right? It's too easy to say I have a paycheck. It's too easy to let that get in the way for me really taking the big steps forward that I wanted to take in my business. So I did something I don't suggest to everybody, because for me to do this, I didn't have a husband, I don't have any kids, I didn't have anything there. It was just me taking this on. So there is a little bit of parameter around what I did. But I literally walked into the chef's office and I told my chef that they had 4 months, and I was gone. I was completely walking away, and I cut the ties and I walked out of a 12-year job. My parents were freaking out. My friends were freaking out. They're like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to learn the world of internet marketing. And, and at that time, it's even worse than that. I knew how to turn on a computer. I knew how to check my Outlook email. And I knew how to browse Google. So anything else beyond that was really foreign to me. I had really little to no concept about what I was about to walk into.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's slightly scary. I didn't realize that you were kind of at that level. I mean, so let me ask you, like, what was it deep inside of you that allowed you to take such a risk? Because, from the outside looking in, and let's just pretend I'm not in this world of online marketing. So any normal person out there, if they were to, look at your situation, if you were to ask them for your advice on this decision you just made, they would think you were absolutely nuts. So what was it that drove you to take such a risk? Because it is a risk. You're leaving a career of 12 years to do something you have absolutely no knowledge in, let alone any skills or experience. What is it that drives you to take that kind of a risk?
What drove me for that one is that I knew that there was more than a 9-to-5 job. And I think really what scared me more than anything was that I worked with culinary staff that was in their 60s and 70s that couldn't leave because they had to have the job in order to survive. Like, I flashed forward my life like 30, 40 years, and I was like, I could not imagine raising a family and being in this industry where I'm working 10 to 12, 14 hours a day. I'm beat up at the end of it. I want to do nothing but just sit back and completely not participate in the world around me. And there would be days when I would go in the morning and not come out until night. I never saw the sun. And I was like, something has got to change in my life. Like, I want more than what this is. And I started doing a lot of that reading, like that mindset reading like Robert Kiyosaki, the 1 Minute Millionaire, kind of plugging into some of that mindset. And I said, if I'm going to do this, I really just have to go out and make this happen. So the desire to really control my life and to be able to walk outside when I wanted to and really experience the world is what drove me to take this on.
That's huge. That's huge. And it really is when you really look at, your future in that sense, in that way, and see, my God, nothing is going to change for me unless I make a big change now. Then all of a sudden, these risky decisions becomes not so risky, because it's actually more risky to stay where you are, isn't it?
It was. And what's interesting is that I knew that when I left the job, I was going to have probably about 12 to 18 months of hardship. Like, that was my reality check. I knew after I watched this industry for a long time before I made this decision. But I knew that if I did not take the step, I'd be exactly where I was, and I would be miserable in another 5 years. But I also knew that 12 to 18 months, I was going to struggle financially. I was probably going to have to sell some stuff. I was going to have to really dive into what it was to successfully build online. And I was going to have to find a marketing company to partner with that I could basically, like an affiliate company, so I could do some affiliate marketing so I could start bringing some money in. Like, I knew I had to tie myself into something that could help me produce money, even in my little education that I had at the time, to get me through that process. That's really what I had to think about.
Okay, so let's talk about now this next, 6, 12, 18 months. So you made this decision, you're jumping in. Share with us some of the challenges, some of the lessons that you learned, in your first 6 to 12 months, because I'm sure it wasn't all rosy. I'm sure there were a lot of challenges and lessons along the way.
Oh boy. Okay. So this is like opening up like the hard part. This is the part nobody really wants to talk about, because it is hard. This is the biggest struggle in those first 6 to 12 months, because this is where there's so much doubt that creeps in. There's no results taking place. You feel like you're just spinning your wheels and you're like, is this really going to work? So the first 6 months, I had to make a deal with myself. I had to figure out an affiliate company to associate myself with. And I wanted somebody that tied into marketing. So I found the company. So that was step 1, right? Step 2 was, what was I committed to doing? And at that time, I decided to come up with something called the non-negotiables. So originally it started off as I had 90 days of non-negotiable. And those non-negotiables means that I could not put my head on a pillow at night unless these 3 things were done every single day. Mind you, I had no budget, right? I had no money to learn marketing. I was pretty much praying that my affiliate commissions would somehow pay for me to live. And it was definitely a struggle. But the 3 things I committed to every single day was I did a video. It was anywhere from a 3 to 5 minute quick video, usually like a how-to video. So how to do something. Because those were the easiest ones I could think of to do. Because I was in the learning process also. So every time I learned something, I just created a how-to video. And the concept behind that was to remind myself how to do it later if I had to go back and teach it. That was my strategy.
Practicality, yeah.
So I then took that video and I had a blog. Because there was a little bit of pre-planning. So I did get my website. I did get a blog put up. It wasn't very pretty. I took the video and I put it on my blog. And then I just made sure, because like I said, I was part of an affiliate company, so I had something to promote. So I had somewhere to catch email addresses, right? Mm-hmm. And then once that blog post was up, I would basically email my list that I had a new blog post. And I would share it like on social media. That was my only avenue. It was like I had to share it. And that was it. Like for 6 to 12 months, that was what I was up to. Like, because that was the only avenue that I knew that I had to just produce content. I had to produce something of value.
Now, let me ask you, how soon from starting online marketing did you actually start producing content and start producing those videos?
I started doing it. So I took 30 days off. I took the month off after I quit my job. And literally the beginning of the next month, I was like, okay, I got to start doing videos. And
how consistent were you with that?
90-day blitz, and I missed 4 during that 90 days.
Daily videos.
Daily video for 90 days. 90 days of straight, pure video to content to email to socialize. Had to be done.
Share with me a little bit, if you can remember, what kind of results were you able to create out of that first 90-day blitz of creating content and essentially just sharing the videos on social media, because that's really all you were doing.
Yeah, that's all I was doing. So my first month in the business, I think I made my first $200.
Woo!
Right. So the affiliate piece was working. I was like, yes, I made 200. Like I sold something. So super, super excited about that. And that kind of was my level of belief raised, right? So it's like, what can I do next? Then the next 60 days, really people started wondering what I was up to. So what is this affiliate program you're with? What are you doing online? How is this working for you? By the end of 90 days, I'd pretty much built the brand of Chef Katrina because everyone just kept seeing it everywhere. So I was definitely in a position, I totally forgot this. Actually, during that 90 days, one of the coaches that I had hired, a video coach, asked me to speak at a live event of over 2,000 people who was attending a home-based travel company. It was taking place here in Orlando, and she asked me if I wanted to be one of the speakers teaching on blogging because I'd had such success with it. So I actually got a speaking gig within 90 days of doing this, having had really zero. I mean, we're talking, my visits to my blog were probably around like 20 to 30. It wasn't anything massive, but because I was teaching what I was learning about the process of blogging, they asked me to come in, and I had 2 opportunities. So I actually spoke with them here in Orlando, and then the following year I got to go to Vegas and speak again for them. So I was placed in front of a home business travel agency twice from that 90-day challenge.
And you said that you made a few commissions in your first 30 days. By the end of 90 days, what sort of, how many sales were you bringing in around what sort of, how much commissions, just roughly?
So I was roughly averaging at that time anywhere from $800 to $1,000 a month in commissions, which for somebody that was doing nothing, that was huge. And it was just a matter of staying consistent and then continuing that process from that point on. But it definitely took a push, but 90 days, like that is a magic number in terms of building something consistently, especially in the internet marketing space.
Now, this is amazing. And the reason why I'm asking such specific questions here is because I really want people to see this picture of what it takes to succeed, because your example, what you just shared here, is so perfect to everything that we've been learning over the last 41 episodes previously. And, I asked so many different marketers that I've interviewed, what's the breakthrough, what's been the breakthrough in your business? And pretty much all of them have said, when I started creating my own content. Now, for the majority of marketers online, they don't start creating content in their second month. And that's the biggest mistake they can make. And why I asked all these specific questions is because what I want to show every listener here right now that's watching this video or listening to this on iTunes is, and I've been harping on this, for the last 41 episodes, it's all about creating content. Mm-hmm. And you're testament to that. You started creating content your second month in, really not knowing what you're doing, but you started creating results immediately, and you stuck with it over a 90-day period. So the other mistake people make is they quit too soon, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they start putting up a few videos, nobody's watching them, no sales are coming in after 2 weeks, and they stop. Their daily videos become weekly videos, their weekly videos become monthly videos, their monthly videos just stop coming. And you didn't do that. You stayed consistent for 90 days, and look at these breakthroughs. All of a sudden you're getting speaking invites, you're starting to increase your commissions, you're starting to increase your blog traffic. And that was your first 90 days. Now you've been online and, you've been growing your business ever since, all because of that bold decision that you made. That's an incredible story, Katrina. Just absolutely incredible. I want to commend you on that.
Yeah, well, and I'll let you guys know too, what ended up happening, because I got those speaking engagements, I had to have something to sell that was my own personal. Mm-hmm. So I had to create the only thing I knew at that time was blogging. So I created basically a blogging course just so I had something to sell at the live events, and ended up making, anywhere from another $3,000 to $4,000 at the live events, just selling something that, 6 months ago, I was just learning myself. So I'm telling you, it's incredible what you apply yourself to, because people are looking for the information, and it doesn't really matter where you're at. You're considered an expert, especially if you've been doing it for at least 90 days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. I really hope if you're listening this, that you really, are paying attention. And again, like I said in every episode, it's about taking action on what you learn here and actually getting out there and applying what you're learning. Okay, Katrina, now over the last couple of years, you've had an opportunity, working with the company that you're partnered with, you've had an opportunity to meet and work with so many other students and so many other online marketers. And maybe share with us a little bit what you see in the marketplace. Where do you see that a lot of marketers are struggling, or the big mistakes that they're making?
So having met a lot of marketers, and I'm talking worldwide, I've had the pleasure of really just meeting some incredible leaders. That I think for you, and we touched on a lot, is that it's the content creation. We don't value the little things that we learn. And so, and because we don't value that, we don't think that it's teachable, or we think that everybody must already know this. Mm-hmm. And that is probably the biggest mistake, because Norbert, you've got an audience. For those that are listening, every single one of you has a different audience that's following you. You have different friends, different family members. You're in different parts of the world. And even my next door neighbor, if she started building out her list right now, basically doing the exact same thing I'm doing, we would not even cross over friends-wise in this area. And the reason for that is because people are attracted to different things about you than anybody else. There's a trust factor that gets built. So what you're learning, nobody else has taught, because it hasn't come from you. And your voice really is what people are going to connect with, your personality, what it is you're out to help them accomplish. So for me, content creation is absolutely crucial. and the belief that you do have value, that even you can. So can I make an example of this real quick?
Absolutely.
So in the kitchen, as a cook, when you're first coming into the kitchen and you're on what we call the hotline and you're making your first meal for a guest, you have a trainer that sits next to you, right? So you're being trained by this trainer on how to prepare that first meal. And you think you got it down because you're like, hey, yeah, I can put all the stuff in the ingredients. I can put it into a plate and I can put it in the window. It's awesome. But what most people don't know is that our cooks, by their third week, are asked to train somebody else. So 3 weeks in a brand new kitchen, having only learned one station, and usually there's 4 to 6, are asked to train somebody else. The reason we ask you to train somebody else is because your knowledge of cooking increases tenfold when you have to explain to somebody why you're doing what you're doing, right? Your level of expertise goes up about 10,000, points, because you've now educated somebody else. So now they see you as the guru in the kitchen, even if you're only there 3 weeks before them. So you don't have to learn everything. It's just this little bit. It's like, I have to learn, one little thing the day before you and then teach it. And in that, I get a greater understanding of what I just learned. And I'm also perceived as the go-to person because I just taught somebody this. So I want you guys to understand that there's a level of sophistication and understand that happens when you take what you're learning and you teach it to somebody else. And then the impact that you make, the feeling that you get in helping somebody else, also knowing that you've helped yourself, is so amazing. It's like gratitude on both ways. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's why it's so important to do that.
I love that. I love that example. And it's funny in our society why conceived idea that you need to be an expert and you need to have some degree and some qualifications before you're allowed to go out there and teach people. And yet you are showing with a very, very direct, very practical application in the kitchen, exactly the benefit of getting out there and teaching what you're learning. Because not only are you, helping your brand and you're creating good marketing, but you're actually, helping yourself to learn and master that skill that you're now sharing with others. Love that example. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My favorites.
Yeah, I love it.
What else you got for me?
All right, let's talk really quickly. I got to touch on branding a little bit because you've created this brand, Chef Katrina. Everybody knows you online as Chef Katrina now. And I want to talk a little bit about branding. Keep it really on a simple level, but what does branding mean? Because I think some people get branding a little confused online. When we think of branding, we think of big companies, we think of logos and color schemes. People get kind of obsessed about what their website looks like and what should my tagline be, all that kind of stuff when most people think of branding. What is branding and why is it important to our business online?
For me, branding is just showing up as yourself. Just being authentically who you are. Because what I've discovered, and everyone's always like, Chef Katrina, that's such a cool brand. I'm like, I don't know how to be anybody else but Chef Katrina. It's like, that's me. And the reason it stayed that way, honestly, is because when I left the kitchen, everybody still called me chef. Like, I would get answers on my Facebook. They'd be like, yes, Chef Katrina, or yes, chef. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to knock this, right? And I just embraced what that was. So for me, branding is you being authentic with your following in its simplest forms. It's not the pretty logo. It's not the color scheme you're using. In the very beginning, when you're getting started, it's you getting out there and sharing content. Because trust me, and Norbert, you know this, and for those that have been online for a while, your brand evolves as you do. So what you think starts off today as your brand, in about 6 months, you may outgrow. You may transition to something completely different. So the only thing that stays the same is you, because you're the one that's the value to that. So if you're going to brand yourself, just be you. And it's so simple to do because it's already what you're up to in your life.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And that is it in its simplest form. And just by following that, you've been able to stand out in the marketplace with your brand just by being who you are. Okay, let's switch topics a little bit here. Let's talk social media. because you're doing some cool things on social media. I want to talk a little bit about what's working for you right now and some of the students that you're working with right now. And I know it's one of these social media platforms that hasn't been getting a lot of attention because everyone's focused on, Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook, of course. So share with us a little bit about what's working for you these days.
Oh my gosh, this may just come out as a flow of information, but so as a blogger, right, there's something to like the recipe of building your business online. So as a blogger, there's certain components to building your blog. Mm-hmm. So when I went looking for social media, I have to tell you, a lot of the social media to me just seems like it's scrolling, right? There's no real engagement. There's nothing going on. So the platform I went after, because nobody was touching it, nobody was talking about it, was Pinterest. Mm-hmm. And what fascinated me about Pinterest is that as a blogger, it is built for the blogger. Pinterest is all about pinning content. It's a content curation site, right? So when you have a blog and you've got really good content, the one place where it lives forever and is searched by Google and all the other sites is Pinterest. It is the most comprehensive site in terms of when you build your boards, you're using the exact same SEO methods that you use for your blog, you use for Pinterest. You're searched the same way on Google as you are on Pinterest. There were so many similarities between the two platforms. I was like, this is my jam. Like, this is my fun place to play. And then when I found out that 41% of e-commerce is driven by Pinterest, not only wasn't I then fascinated by the platform, but I realized that the buyers are going to Pinterest to buy. Whereas on every other social media they're there to be entertained. Those that go to Pinterest are actually in the mindset to buy a product, a service, something. That is why they are on Pinterest. So I was like, I want to go where the buyer is. I don't want to go where all the marketers are playing, because where the marketers aren't the buyers. Where the buyers are is on Pinterest. So I'm going there. I just real quick. So my success story, I started really diving into it in the last 60 days. I did over 9,000 in commissions with only 144 leads.
Wow.
And my ad spend was less than 500.
Now, are you advertising on Pinterest as well through paid ads?
I am, and my ad spend was just under 500. So I cleared over 9,000 in 60 days and did less than 500 in ad spend, which right now, if you tried that on any other platform, is not doing as well.
Wow. Well, you've piqued my interest. My curiosity's up. I'm really interested to hear more about this. When you give me those kinds of numbers, that definitely piques my interest. So why don't you sort of, if you could, and of course we're going to get into more of the specific strategy in our premium session, where you're actually going to walk us through a little bit of this process. But if you could just give us sort of a big picture view here for anybody that hasn't done Pinterest yet, or maybe we've all been on Pinterest. We've looked at some pictures on Pinterest, but how the heck do we use it as marketers? Give us kind of a big picture perspective here.
So big picture perspective for Pinterest, you need to have a Pinterest business account. So first and foremost, you can't be on as a personal, you have to have as a business, because that's how you do your promoted pins. Limited right now, promoted pins, which is your advertising, is to the US only, which is not a bad thing, because right now, and when that explodes elsewhere with what you guys are going to learn from me, you're going to be so primed to just crush it. It's going to be ridiculous. But it's a phenomenal platform. So the bigger picture is Pinterest is content creation, right? So if you're creating content on your blog or even on YouTube, so video is about to transform Pinterest in a massive way. Yeah. So that's coming your way. But because you can have people go directly to content, and if you've done it correctly, if you have call to actions on your blog, you will get people that will sign up and become leads, and you will get those people to buy because they're already primed to buy because they've been on Pinterest looking at things to buy. So as a network marketer, affiliate marketer, or even internet marketer in info products, this really is a platform about buying. And also the consumer on this platform is a planner. So everything that they pin on their boards typically within 3 weeks, they say 80% of things that are repinned on Pinterest are bought. So,
Wow.
yeah. And the beauty of Pinterest is that that board with that pin on it lasts forever. So if you have friends that are coming onto Pinterest for the first time and they're checking out your boards, they're seeing pins for the very first time. And it's like little billboards that go across the whole entire universe in the realm of Pinterest. And it is worldwide, like the platform itself is worldwide, but the promoted pins currently is just US, but they're opening that up very shortly. So really cool.
So, help me out here. I've been to Pinterest and I've looked at, interior decorating ideas. I've looked at, lots of, pictures and images of different things. As an affiliate marketer with digital online products, what kind of pictures am I posting?
Oh, we're going to dive into that in our next segment for sure. The images you're posting, I am literally creating them on Canva. Like they're nothing crazy. And I also found this really cool application last night that on Pinterest, this is the only place I've seen it, where you can scroll and the image moves, right? Based on your scrolling. So if you're scrolling up or down, the image will actually move. And I found an app that lets you do this. So you can create really engaging apps like about time-lapse kind of images. Really, really cool stuff. But you can only do this on Pinterest. Like it's really about creating content and it's all text-based. Images have to capture your attention and you can have text on them. Where most social media sites limit the amount of text you can have on a promoted pin, I can make up to 90% of my pin just text as long as it conveys the message of the content they're going to. So it has to be all congruent. Whatever the pin is, it has to lead congruently to the blog post or the content of where they're going.
And so now that we're able to run paid ads on Pinterest, and obviously, I mean, I'm really interested and intrigued about this. I feel like a brand new student here, ready to learn something brand new, because I'll be honest, I know nothing about Pinterest. I've never looked at it from a marketer's perspective. And so this is really exciting. I'm excited to jump into our premium session and have you share a little bit more of this with us, because those numbers you're sharing with me, that gets me excited. Okay, so with the advertising, my question is, what kind of targeting, because I use Facebook a lot and the targeting in Facebook is incredible. It's out of this world. So what kind of people, what's the targeting like when we're advertising on Pinterest?
Okay, so the advertising on Pinterest is similar to how you target on Facebook. So for those that are targeting on Facebook, it's very similar. You have on Facebook how you try to build your audience. You're doing the same thing on Pinterest. They have one for engagement. So you actually want an engagement campaign running to build your audience on Pinterest. You also have
you can build your audience on Pinterest.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I like this. Okay.
And you can target. So many little nuts and bolts. But targeting your audiences are ridiculous. They're even, I think, better because Pinterest is about pinning interests. So you talked about how you went and looked at home decorating stuff. I can actually target you as somebody that likes home decoration and still put my ad in front of you about a product or service that I'm selling, because you're probably also thinking, well, how am I going to afford to get this work done in my house or afford these? So if I throw up an ad next to you that says, how do you, create income? I've nailed it.
Right. Okay, well, this is awesome. You definitely piqued my curiosity. I'm excited for our premium session to dig into this a little bit more. And if you're not a premium member, I definitely encourage you to take the $1 trial and check this out and learn a little bit more about Pinterest. Now, for new people getting started, obviously you work with a lot of new students and clients getting started. I always recommend people start with one strategy, start with a simpler strategy, kind of get your feet wet. With Pinterest, how do you feel this works for new people getting started and then also for more advanced marketers?
So we're actually testing that right now. I've got a couple of clients that are brand new, have never used the platform, have never built a single board, any of that. So we're actually going through the process over the next 6 weeks of building that out and showing them what it looks like. If you're an affiliate marketer or a network marketer, I feel as you already have like a leg up. And if you have digital products you're selling, you're in a good space, because now it's just about connecting with your audience and learning how to use Pinterest as a way to really curate your brand and share information out there. Like there's a lot of little secrets, but I truly believe that the beginner can have a massive advantage on here, because you haven't cluttered up your boards yet and you haven't done everything wrong. So it's really easy for you to start with a clean slate and get going right out of the gate with the right way to build. So I'm super excited for those that are getting started. And Norbert, just because, nobody's going after this platform. I'm probably nobody's going after this platform. So because I'm such the first person in, the ability to really affect everybody in here is just huge. And it's so open because the platform for promoted pins is so relatively new that Pinterest just keeps getting better and better. Just like Facebook keeps getting better and better, Pinterest is like, we're after e-commerce. We're not about, being a social site. We're about building businesses. And that is so different from everything else that you've probably had people come on and talk about, because it's not about getting engagement. It's about the buying experience.
I love it. All right. Well, this is awesome. I'm excited for the premium session. Katrina, we got to wrap this up. It's been an amazing call. I really want to appreciate you giving of your time and being here and sharing your experience and your knowledge with everybody that's listening and tuning in. If you could wrap this up, let's put a nice bow on this and wrap this up. Give us 3 key things for people to focus on. If people listening right now, they want to create a breakthrough in the next 90 days, just like you did. Okay. So give those people 3 things that they could focus on for the next 90 days to create a breakthrough in their business.
If you want to create a breakthrough in your business for the first 90 days, I'm going to say do a video. And I don't care where you post it. I don't care if you do it on Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, wherever, but do video. First and foremost thing, get out there and start engaging with your audience. Build your audience. Get to know your audience. You got to get in front of them because they're looking for you, whether you know it or not. And the third thing is be consistent. You've got to consistently be in front of your audience, be in your business. You can't let a day go by and not do it, because if you let one day go by, you'll let 2, you'll let 3. And before you know it, you've stopped doing anything. So if you guys want action, you got to get into it. So video, audience building, and consistency. Those are my 3 tips for what you can. I don't know what you'll create in 90 days, but I know it'll be incredible if you continue to take those 3 steps.
I love it. Great advice. Chef Katrina, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully I will see you at a future event real soon. It was great hanging out with you. Where was that? San Diego, right?
Yes.
I get cities mixed up now, but yes, San Diego. It was an awesome time. Thanks for being here. Thank you for sharing this great information with everybody. And I look forward to our premium session case study where you're actually going to walk us through some of these strategies that you're using on Pinterest, which is extremely, extremely intriguing to me, and I can't wait to learn. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on this episode, and we will see you on another edition of the Online Playmaker Sessions. Everybody, take care.
I hope you enjoyed this week's Playmaker session. If you love the session, subscribe now to our YouTube channel so you never miss our weekly episodes. Be sure to also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just type in Online Playmakers in the search bar and click subscribe, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. All of the episodes, show notes, transcripts, resources, and bonuses are available on the blog over at onlineprofitplaybook.com, along with several bonus free tutorials I've created for you as well. Your fast track to results is to follow the Playmakers. You can download their closely guarded playbooks and follow them step by step to grow your influence, build your audience, and create results in your business right now. Head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers to get full access today. Thank you again for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week as we bring you another power-packed session with the top Playmakers online. This is Norbert Orlowitz, signing off.